Hello and welcome to Deep Six Wrestling. I am the glorious Robbie Rotten, everybody's favorite Deep Six champion, aka the Glorious One, aka Mr. Money in the Bank. Today we are going to be doing a variation of a segment I've been doing for a little while now. The segment is Glorious or Rotten, but this is Glorious or Rotten Rewind, where I'm going to be reviewing some old school pay per views, and I'm going to start by going back and doing all of the WrestleMania pay per views in order, starting, of course, with WrestleMania 1, which aired on March 31st, 1985, from Madison Square Garden in New York City, New York. So let's get that started. See, I have never seen this WrestleMania before, actually, so there's really no nostalgia here for me. So this is completely fresh to me. I've heard of some things that happened, but I've never actually seen it. I was a little surprised. It had some really weird, cheesy, overly long opening sequence, kind of like there is on like the Raw, but without like the modern sounding music or the. It just didn't have the same production quality. I mean, that's to be expected, but still, it was kind of bizarre. And one of the first things I noticed was, man, Howard Finkel looks so young. I barely recognized him. And they opened up by having Mean Gene Okerlund sing the national anthem, which is fine, but it just seems kind of like a bizarre choice with all the celebrities involved for the show. I don't know why they didn't have one of them do it, but I don't know. That's just my take on it. The first match of the night was Tito Santana versus the Masked Executioner, which was kind of weird. This set the tone with they had a pre-match promo before the show, and this was the trend for the show. Every match had that. Tito Santana, he's really smooth. I've never really seen him wrestle too much before. I heard a lot about him, but he's really good. I can see why he lasted as long as he did and why he was popular. The crowd was really into him. He did well. He really impressed me. You could definitely tell the difference in eras. The match is extremely different, paced completely different than today's matches. A lot of rest holds and stuff, and it was pretty short, but it was fine. It wasn't a bad match. Tito Santana got the win with a figure four leg lock, and it was kind of awkward because the ref, there was no tapping out, I guess, because that wasn't really a thing. The ref just ran over to the ropes and kind of called for the bell from the timekeeper. Kind of awkward, but yeah, it was fine. The match was all right. I think it was a pretty solid opener for the card overall. And the second match of the night was King Kong Bundy versus Special Delivery Jones. Bundy had Jimmy Hart as his manager, and man, Jimmy Hart looked really young too. I really didn't recognize him when I saw him until they said his name, until he opened his mouth, because, I mean, he has a very distinct voice. This wasn't much of a match. Bundy won in what was claimed to be 9 seconds. It was definitely longer than 9 seconds after watching it. Within a splash. And yeah, this wasn't much of anything. I would give this a rotten.
Ew,
the
rotten.
action was not very good. What little action there was. Nah. Before I go into the next match, I just want to say that Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura on commentary was actually a lot better than I expected. I could see them doing pretty well in any era of wrestling as commentary, to be honest. See, the next match of the night was Matt Bourne, who, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he went on to be the first Doink the Clown. And then Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I had high hopes for this match because Ricky Steamboat is so good. He's so smooth. He was really ahead of his time. The match started out really fast, and I was kind of excited, and then it just kind of devolved into lots of headlocks and rest holds for some reason. Ricky Steamboat ended up winning with a diving crossbody off the top rope. And honestly, I was a little disappointed. I expected more from this. because Ricky Steamboat's so good. But I mean, it was still fine for what it was. But I really expected more. I've really noticed that the pacing of the overall show is way faster than anything I've ever seen in wrestling before. Like, it would be like match is over, then they'd go cut backstage to the interviewer, and then another pre-match promo, match, like right away. No video packages, nothing. It was really weird, very bizarre, for sure. Next up was David Sammartino with his father, Bruno Sammartino, obviously the longest reigning WWF champion of all time, and a big crowd favorite in Madison Square Garden. He got a massive pop when he came out. Versus Brutus the Barber Beefcake with Johnny Valiant as his manager. The heels cut a really bizarre promo here. Brutus Beefcake just kind of like made some weird noise while Valiant like yelled. I don't know what was going on there. I found it really odd that Beefcake was billed from parts unknown, because he's just like a guy. He wasn't even the barber at this point, I don't believe, but he just got billed from parts unknown. Like, what? It's not like he's some monster character or something weird like that. He's just like a normal guy. I will give him a lot of credit, though. He was the first one to come out with an actual unique look. His gear was like really cool and flashy looking, and nobody else on the card so far had that, so I really liked that. David Sammartino did not impress me in the least. I think he tried a little too hard to try to be like his father, and it didn't really work for me. Brutus really sold his ass off for him, though, so that helped it out. Lots and lots of rest holds early in this match, and I guess technical wrestling, but like not really any interesting technical wrestling. Like, this wasn't like a classic at all. I mean, it started to pick up. It definitely really did start to pick up towards the end. But then there was a double DQ finish when Johnny Valiant pulled David out of the ring and body slammed him on the outside. And then Bruno got involved, and everybody got in the ring and started beating the hell out of each other, and a double disqualification. I mean, in today's world, that would be a DQ for, a victory for David Sammartino, but I guess things were a little bit different back then. So yeah, this match was fine for what it was. Nothing really special. I really have to say that the lack of entrance music and video packages is really taking away from the show for me. It's just kind of like everything's so rushed, and like the video packages today really make it, and the entrance music sorely missed on this show for sure. Next up, we had an Intercontinental Championship match, the first title match of the night, with Intercontinental Champion Greg the Hammer Valentine versus the Junkyard Dog. And man, is the Junkyard Dog over. The crowd was super hot for everything this guy did, and he had entrance music. Wow, what a breath of fresh air on this card. I cannot tell you how much that I just was happy to see entrance music. It was so nice. This wasn't very good. I don't really see the appeal of Junkyard Dog's shtick. I don't know, man. Maybe it just worked better in the 70s and 80s. To me, it was cheesy. He did these crawling headbutts that looked like nothing, and people were going nuts for him. And Hammer just sold the hell out of him, too. The IC title is terrible. Looks awful in this time period. They showed like a close-up of it, and I was legitimately disgusted. Like, I would throw that title out if I saw it. Hammer gets the win with a schoolboy pin with his feet on the ropes. And then, for some reason, Tito Santana runs down to the ring and tells the ref what happens. And the ref reverses the decision and starts the match again. But then Greg the Hammer Valentine just walks out of the arena anyway and gets counted out. And then Junkyard Dog celebrates like he actually won the title or something, when everybody knows that with the countout, the title doesn't change hands. So he just kind of looks like an idiot. I don't really get it. I would give this match a rotten.
Ew, rotten.
Oh, and something else before I get into the next match. Lord Alfred Hayes just looks so uncomfortable after every match. He's just so awkward. He doesn't seem like he belongs at all. I don't know what's up with that. What's up with that? And now another title match. We have the Tag Team Championship match with Tag Team Champions Mike Rotunda, who went on to become IRS and is, I believe, the father of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. And then we had Barry Windham, who I think he was in the Four Horsemen at some point. Maybe. Who were the tag team champions. I probably said that already, but I don't remember. And then the challengers, the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, and they had manager Classy, Freddie Blassie. I think the baby faces had Captain Lou Albano as their manager as well. This was really good. Breath of fresh air. I can't say it enough. The pace was really good. Man, and the baby faces had entrance music again. Woo, so good. Love it, man. And Volkov and Sheik are heat magnets. The crowd hated them. Gotta love a good heel. Like I said, fast-paced match. The action was a lot of fun. Sheik and Volkov win the titles here and get the win when Sheik hits Barry Windham with Classy Freddie Blassie's cane when the ref is distracted, picking up a nice heel win. And yeah, this was really good. I would definitely give this a glorious. And I have to say, every time Iron Sheik said Gene Mean, it made me laugh. I just love that. Okay. Then we had Big John Studd with Bobby the Brain Heenan versus Andre the Giant in a $15,000 body slam match. And if Andre the Giant lost, his career was over. Why $15,000? That seems like an awfully random amount of money. Like, it's not like a small amount of money, but it's not like an overly huge amount of money either. So it's pretty random to me. Bobby the Brain Heenan is so charismatic. I really wish that in some alternate universe we could have had him today. I think he'd do really, really well. He'd really flourish. I mean, as he did then, he was fantastic. This was a mess. Slow, plodding, overly long. Oof, this was hard to watch. Andre the Giant gets the win, obviously, with a body slam on Big John Studd, who is deceivingly huge, especially when next to Andre the Giant. That guy is huge. Yeah. Then Bobby Heenan comes out and steals the money from Andre as he's throwing it out to the fans, and that's a classic heel move. I like that part, but overall, this is rotten. Terrible match.
Rotten.
Next up, we had the Women's Championship match with Women's Champion Leilani Kai and her manager, the Fabulous Moolah, versus Wendy Richter with Cyndi Lauper, which is interesting. Cyndi Lauper actually really looked like she wanted to be there and really belonged. She was, which is nice. Like, it's a nice thing to actually see a celebrity that wants to be there and is a positive presence. Again, I cannot stress enough how much difference the entrance music makes, even if it's super generic. You know, Wendy Richter had a super generic entrance theme, but it was nice to see. Huge difference. It's definitely needed. That's a huge thing that they added eventually. I mean, I guess they started to add it here, but it's needed. Definitely needed. This is kind of slow and awkward to begin with, but it kind of picked up towards the end when Wendy Richter picked up the win and the title after reversing a diving crossbody off the top rope into a 3 count. And yeah, she took the title here, and the match was fine for what it was. It's not good. It's not a Rotten though. It's definitely like a step above Rotten. It's not good though. I wouldn't want to watch this again. And then we had the main event of the evening, which was Hulk Hogan and Mr. T with Jimmy Superfly Snuka versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff with Cowboy Bob Orton, Randy's dad. Um, yeah, Mr. T's not a wrestler, but he didn't look completely awful here. I was kind of surprised by that. Actually, I'm going to take it a little bit backwards, step back. Um, the entrance for Roddy Piper, Paul Orndorff, and Cowboy Bob Orton was awesome with the live bagpipers. This is like the first ever like special entrance in that I could ever think of. You know, when else would there have been one? And this was really cool. It's like set the tone. I mean, I kind of have a theory that if you get a special entrance at a major pay per view, then you lose. It doesn't really apply for NXT, but for the main roster, check that out. If there's two special entrances, it's kind of like a deadlock. You know, it could go either way. But if somebody gets a special entrance, they're probably losing. They really did their best to make this match feel like a true main event. You know, they had Billy Martin, the Yankees manager, as the special guest ring announcer, and they also had Liberace as the timekeeper. A little weird, but why not? He was a big star back then. And then they also had Muhammad Ali as like the special guest enforcer. Like they said he was a special guest referee, but he was outside. He was really more of an outside enforcer. And this was really fun. It was chaotic. The refs had like no control over the match, but it was really fun. I don't know how well it would work today, but it definitely worked. Yeah, these guys really worked hard. Hogan and Piper were so good at their brand of pro wrestling back then. And honestly, Piper is one of those guys that could have worked in any era. So charismatic. Just great. Great stuff. It was really weird to see Pat Patterson as referee for this match, but he was the referee. I have to say, really, the crowd is what made this so fun. They were so enthusiastic. They ate everything up in this entire match, and they really made the match. Hulk Hogan and Mr. T ended up winning, of course, with Cowboy Bob Orton jumping off the top rope and accidentally hitting Paul Orndorff with his cast when the ref was distracted. And, you know, Hogan picked up the pin, and, you know, the babyface celebrated, winning at WrestleMania. Yay, of course. Yeah, this was fun. It would give this match absolutely a glory, for sure. Jesse Ventura said something really interesting, and he said, "This event will never be duplicated." Little did he know that WrestleMania would become the monster that it has become in the last 35 years, which is kind of funny. And then after all of it, they had like these weird like end credits like you'd see for like a sitcom. There's like executive producer Vince McMahon and like cheesy music, so it was weird. Overall, WrestleMania 1 was hard to watch at times, fun at other times. You know, it was all right. It was all right. It was, you know what? It was a good starting point. And it would. I'm hoping it all gets better from there. So, I'll see you next time on Glorious or Rotten Rewind. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to Deep Six on YouTube and follow us on Twitter. Have a glorious day.